in a world where dreams still whisper and magic never fades. Welcome to Magic Fairy Tales TV, the enchanted realm where timeless stories come alive once more. From classic adventures to new bedtime wonders, each tale is crafted to awaken the child within and rekindle your happily ever after. So open your heart, close your eyes, and step inside the magic kingdom of fairy tales. Subscribe now for magical tales every week and rediscover the wonder you've always believed in. Welcome, dear friends, to Magic Fairy Tales TV, where every story glows with wonder. Tonight, we begin a Halloween bedtime adventure about a brave little girl, a field of glowing pumpkins, and a secret that only the stars can keep. Snuggle under your blankets, take a deep breath of crisp autumn air in your imagination, and let's open our storybook. In a quiet valley nestled between rolling golden hills lay the town of Maple Hollow, a place where every house wore a crown of red and orange leaves in the fall. Children skipped along cobblestone streets after school, their laughter floating like falling leaves. Bakeries filled the air with the scent of cinnamon and pumpkin spice. And just beyond the northern woods, hidden behind a tangle of oak trees, rested a mysterious field locals called the Old Patch. No one remembered when the Old Patch was planted. Some said the pumpkins grew there before Maple Hollow even existed. Others whispered that a kind-hearted witch once blessed the soil, promising the pumpkins would always glow with the magic of autumn. But there was one rule everyone knew. When the moon turns full on Halloween night, never pick the largest pumpkin. Why? No one agreed. Some said the pumpkin held a spell. Others claimed it guarded a treasure. But every year, parents repeated the warning, and children obeyed, mostly. Among the children of Maple Hollow lived Clara Bright, a girl of 10 with chestnut-brown hair and eyes that shimmered like morning dew. Clara loved stories more than candy and believed every whisper of magic her grandmother shared. She wore a scarf her grandmother knitted, striped like a candy cane and warm as a hug. Clara's best friend was Finn Parker, a boy her age, with freckles like scattered autumn leaves and a laugh that could warm the coldest night. Finn was the daring one. If a tree begged to be climbed, he climbed it. If a pond looked too icy, he still skipped stones across it. Together, Clara and Finn spent every October exploring Maple Hollow's nooks, leaf piles, hay rides, and of course, the path toward the Old Patch. One chilly evening, a week before Halloween, Clara and Finn decided to take the long way home from school. The sun dipped behind the hills, painting the sky in stripes of orange and lavender. They reached the mossy gate that led to the Old Patch. Finn pressed his nose between the iron bars. "Look," he whispered. Clara gasped. Inside the field, every single pumpkin glowed, not with candlelight, but with a soft golden pulse, as if their hearts beat with moonlight itself. The vines shimmered with tiny silver sparkles, like someone had scattered stardust across the soil. Finn grinned. "They're alive!" Clara clutched her scarf. "It's just magic," she breathed. A sudden breeze rustled the dry cornstalks and carried a faint melody, like bells ringing underwater. Both children shivered, not from fear, but from the strange, warm excitement that only true magic can spark. As they watched, one pumpkin, a perfectly round, giant orange beauty, began to glow brighter than the rest. Its light flickered like a lantern guiding a lost traveler. Then, a voice. Soft as a sigh. "Come closer." Clara stepped back. "Did you hear that?" Finn nodded, wide-eyed. It talked. The breeze swirled again, carrying the scent of honey and pine. "One heart of courage, one wish of light," the whisper sang. "The patch will bloom on Halloween night." Finn's jaw dropped. It rhymed. Magic always rhymes. But Clara wasn't smiling. What if the stories are true? What if picking the big pumpkin is dangerous? Finn tilted his head. Or, what if it's waiting for us? That night, Clara couldn't sleep. Moonlight painted silver stripes across her bedroom floor as she stared at the ceiling. The pumpkin's glow burned into her mind. Finally, she padded to her grandmother's rocking chair. "Gran," she whispered, "what happens if someone picks the biggest pumpkin?" Her grandmother's eyes, wise and kind, twinkled like stars. "Legends say," Gran began softly, "that the biggest pumpkin is not just a pumpkin. It's a gate, a door between the ordinary and the magical. But doors open both ways. Whoever picks it must be ready for what walks through." Clara swallowed hard. "What if they're not ready?" Gran smiled gently. "Then the door stays closed. Magic waits for the brave." Clara's heart thumped like a drum. Was she brave? The next day at school, Finn bounced in his seat. "Let's go back tonight," he whispered. "We'll bring lanterns. Maybe we touch the big one." Clara bit her lip. Gran said magic waits for the brave. "But what if bravery isn't enough?" Finn winked. "Then we'll be careful. Besides, we'll stick together. Nothing scary can win against us." His confidence was a spark that lit Clara's own courage. That evening, after dinner, they packed their bags. 2 lanterns, a bag of maple cookies, a small notebook to record scientific pumpkin data, as Finn put it. The crisp October air nipped their noses as they followed the moonlit trail. When they reached the old patch, something was different. The mossy gate stood wide open. Clara froze. "Did we leave it like that?" Finn shook his head. "No, it was locked yesterday." The golden pumpkins pulsed brighter than ever, as if celebrating their arrival. The giant pumpkin at the center shone like a miniature sun. They stepped inside. The earth felt soft and warm under their shoes, even though frost glittered on the grass outside. Silver fireflies swirled around them, forming gentle spirals of light. Finn whispered, "It's like walking into a dream." Then the giant pumpkin let out a soft hum, a sound deep and comforting, like the purr of a giant cat. "Welcome, travelers," the pumpkin said. Its carved mouth didn't move, but the voice vibrated through the air like music. "The night of choosing draws near. Will you accept the Patchkeeper's challenge?" Clara's breath caught. "Patchkeeper?" she echoed. The pumpkin's glow deepened to a rich amber. "I am the keeper of harvest dreams. On Halloween night, a brave heart may claim the light within, but only if they prove worthy before the moon fades." Finn's eyes sparkled. "We accept." Clara grabbed his sleeve. "Wait," but the ground beneath them shimmered, and the world tilted like a spinning top. The stars overhead blurred into a river of gold, and before Clara could call out, the pumpkin patch was gone. When the world stopped spinning, Clara felt her feet land on ground that wasn't quite earth, wasn't quite sky. Finn grabbed her hand. Both of them blinked against a soft golden glow that shimmered like morning mist. They stood inside what looked like a giant crystal dome. Pumpkin vines arched like cathedral ceilings, their leaves glistening with dew that sparkled like diamonds. Dozens of floating lanterns hovered in midair, each carrying a tiny flame shaped like a dancing fairy. In the center of the dome sat the Patchkeeper. It wasn't a person, or even a creature they could name. Imagine a scarecrow made of autumn itself. A cloak of swirling leaves, boots of polished acorns, eyes glowing like jack-o'-lantern embers. Its voice was the same musical hum they'd heard from the giant pumpkin. "Welcome, Clara Bright and Finn Parker. The patch knows every name of those who dare." Finn's eyes widened. "It knows our names." Clara tightened her grip on his hand. "Ah, are we dreaming?" The Patchkeeper tilted its leafy head. "Dreams are only truths wrapped in softer cloth. But this is real. You have entered the harvest between, the place where courage is tested and wishes are born." The Patchkeeper raised a gnarled vine like a scepter. "To claim the great pumpkin's light, you must pass 3 trials: courage, kindness, and wonder. Fail, and you return home with nothing but memory. Succeed, and your wish will awaken the patch forever." Finn grinned. "Sounds awesome." Clara whispered, "What if we fail?" The Patchkeeper's eyes softened to a warm amber. "Failure is only the seed of next year's harvest, but bravery is the soil where magic grows. Shall we begin?" The children nodded. The dome dissolved like morning fog, and suddenly they stood at the edge of a glittering river of starlight. Pumpkin-shaped boats bobbed gently along the shore. A riddle appeared in glowing letters across the water. "Step on the river if your heart is true. Fear will sink you, courage will carry you through." Finn jumped onto the nearest pumpkin boat without hesitation. It floated like a feather. He turned back, grinning. "Come on, Clara!" Clara's stomach twisted. The river shimmered with endless depth, and the stars beneath looked like eyes staring back. She took a shaky breath. Gran said magic waits for the brave. She stepped forward. The pumpkin boat rocked but held. A gentle current carried them across the starry water. Halfway through, a shadow rippled beneath the surface. It rose, a giant midnight crow with wings of smoke. Its eyes glowed ice blue as it hissed, "Turn back or sink." Finn grabbed an oar. "Stay back." But Clara heard something in the crow's voice, a tremble like sadness. She stood tall and called, "We're not afraid. We're here to learn, not to fight." The crow paused. Its smoky wings softened into feathers of silver mist. It gave a single deep bow and vanished into the stars. The river brightened and their boat glided to the far shore. The first trial was complete. On the opposite bank stretched a forest of glowing candy trees. Branches dripped caramel leaves and sugar plum fruit. In the center stood a small creature, half rabbit, half squirrel, its fur tangled in sticky caramel vines. It whimpered softly, trying to free itself. The patch keeper's voice echoed from nowhere and everywhere. Kindness asks no reward. Free what is bound, even when sweetness tempts you to keep. Finn's stomach growled. It smells so good, he muttered, eyeing a caramel apple branch. Clara crouched by the creature. It's okay, we'll help you. She and Finn worked together, gently pulling away the sticky vines. Each time they touched the caramel, it tried to curl back like living syrup. But Clara whispered comforting words, and Finn used careful tugs instead of force. Finally, the last vine snapped free. The creature leapt into Clara's arms and nuzzled her cheek, leaving a faint sparkle of sugar dust. The forest glowed brighter, and the patch keeper appeared, clapping its leafy hands. Kindness sweetens the hardest hearts. The second trial is complete. The creature hopped away, leaving behind a single golden seed in Clara's palm. The forest melted away like frosting on a warm pie. Clara and Finn found themselves standing on a floating bridge of crystal pumpkins, suspended in a sky of endless twilight. Above them hung a single enormous moon, carved with delicate patterns like lace. The air smelled of pine needles and cinnamon. The patch keeper's voice rang out. The final trial asks for wonder. See the world not as it is, but as it could be. Speak a truth that only a child of wonder would know. Finn scratched his head. A truth, but not boring. Clara closed her eyes. She thought of grand stories, of fireflies in summer, of the way the pumpkins glowed when no one was watching. Then she whispered, "Magic is real when you choose to believe, even if you can't prove it." The sky exploded in a gentle shower of golden sparks. The moon above tilted into a glowing smile. The patch keeper materialized before them, its leaf cloak shimmering like 1,000 autumns. A heart that wonders keeps magic alive. The third trial is complete. The crystal bridge carried them to a high hill overlooking the original pumpkin patch. But this time, the patch was endless, fields of glowing pumpkins stretching beyond sight like stars on the earth. In the center stood the great pumpkin, taller than a house, glowing with an inner sunrise. Its surface opened like petals of a giant flower, revealing a swirling light inside. The patch keeper extended a leafy hand toward Clara. "One wish, brave one. Speak, and the harvest between shall listen." Finn whispered, "Wish for candy. Or a dragon. Or—" But Clara shook her head. She thought of Maple Hollow, of her grandmother, of every lonely child who needed magic to believe again. "I wish," she said softly, "that the magic of this patch will shine for everyone, so no one ever stops believing in wonder." The great pumpkin pulsed with a deep golden glow. Light poured outward, sweeping across the fields, through the forest, across the starlit river, and finally back toward Maple Hollow itself. Lanterns lit in every window of the sleepy town. Children woke to see pumpkins glowing gently outside their homes, as if the night itself had whispered, "Magic is real." The patch keeper bowed low. "A selfless wish is the truest magic. The harvest will shine forevermore." The golden light swirled around Clara and Finn like a warm breeze. Their eyelids grew heavy. The patch keeper's voice echoed one last time. "Remember, brave hearts, courage opens doors, kindness keeps them open, and wonder lights the way." When they blinked again, they were back at the mossy gate of the old patch. The sky above Maple Hollow was still dark, stars twinkling peacefully. Their lanterns flickered beside them, almost as if no time had passed. But something had changed. The pumpkins in the field glowed brighter than ever, and from the corner of her eye, Clara thought she saw the great pumpkin wink. The first blush of dawn crept over Maple Hollow as Clara and Finn stepped away from the mossy gate. Frost sparkled on the grass like tiny diamonds, and the cool air smelled of cinnamon and pine. Though their feet rested on familiar soil, their hearts still thumped with the rhythm of magic. As they hurried back through the quiet streets, Clara noticed something extraordinary. Every porch in Maple Hollow now held at least one glowing pumpkin. The warm light flickered softly, not like candles, but like gentle heartbeats. Finn pointed to a bakery window where a toddler pressed his nose against the glass. The child squealed with delight at the shimmering pumpkins, his wide eyes reflecting the golden glow. Adults rubbed sleepy eyes and peeked from their curtains. Instead of confusion or fear, smiles blossomed. The town that once whispered stories of an old forbidden patch now bathed in its magic. Finn grinned. "Your wish worked." Clara squeezed his hand. "It's not just my wish." The patch keeper heard everyone's hearts. When Clara finally reached home, her grandmother waited on the porch. The old woman's rocking chair creaked in rhythm with the breeze. Her eyes twinkled like the morning stars that still clung to the sky. Gran opened her arms. Without a word, Clara ran into her embrace, breathing in the familiar scent of vanilla and autumn leaves. Gran whispered in her ear, "The patch shines brighter today." Clara pulled back, startled. You knew?" Her grandmother's smile held 1,000 quiet secrets. "The patchkeeper and I go back many harvests," Gran said softly. "When I was your age, I made my own wish. It seems the magic has been waiting for a heart like yours to renew it." Finn gasped. "Gran, you went to the patch too?" Gran winked. "Once upon a very long October. Magic runs in stories, and stories run in families. By mid-morning, Maple Hollow buzzed like a festival. Families decorated porches, children donned costumes, and bakers handed out free pumpkin muffins, each one sprinkled with a dusting of glittering sugar that sparkled like the starlit river. Neighbors who once stayed indoors now shared warm cider and laughter. The glow of the pumpkins brought not just light but connection. Old friends forgave forgotten quarrels. Strangers exchanged smiles as if they'd known each other forever. Finn balanced a muffin on his head and declared, "Best Halloween ever!" Clara laughed, the sound bright and clear. Her heart felt as full as the golden fields beyond the woods. That night, as trick-or-treaters wandered under the rising moon, Clara returned alone to the mossy gate. The patch glowed like a galaxy. Fireflies traced patterns in the air, forming words she could almost read. A soft breeze carried a gentle melody, the same music from that magical night. Then she heard it again, faint but unmistakable. Courage opens doors, kindness keeps them open, and wonder lights the way. Clara smiled. "Thank you," she whispered into the night. The breeze swirled once more, brushing her cheeks like a friendly goodbye, and for just a heartbeat she thought she saw the patch keeper standing among the pumpkins, leaf cloak shimmering beneath the moon. Years later, Maple Hollow would remember that Halloween as the beginning of something wonderful. Children grew up knowing magic wasn't just in books. Parents told their little ones, "If you believe, the pumpkins will always glow." Clara kept her grandmother's scarf, now worn but treasured. Every October she and Finn, still best friends, led younger kids to the edge of the woods, where the mossy gate waited like a faithful old friend. Some nights, if the moon was just right, they swore they could hear a soft, humming welcome from deep within the patch. Because magic, once awakened, never really sleeps. And so, dear friends, the enchanted pumpkins still glow, reminding us that courage, kindness, and wonder are the true lights of every season. Perhaps, on a crisp October night, if you listen carefully, you too will hear the patch keeper's gentle song, guiding you toward a little more magic in your own heart. So as you drift to sleep, remember, magic is never far away, it simply waits for a kind and curious heart to find it. Good night, dear dreamer. Until the next tale. Thank you for visiting Magic Fairy Tales TV. If you loved this Halloween adventure, tap subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a story. Ready for more? Click the glowing pumpkins on your screen to explore another magical bedtime tale. Until next time, keep your heart brave, your kindness bright, and your wonder alive.